Okay, Baruch Hashem. So, with the help of Hashem, I want to say a few things and go a few sources that are connected to this day. So before we going into details of psukim and the article of the Zohar that I want to share with you a little bit, I want to explain the basic understanding. Obviously, like anything else, every concept can be explained in many different ways, and there's different people, different rabbis that have different ways of how to lead the connection for every concept. But for me, the simple understanding is always that from the physical we can understand the spiritual. Whatever is taking place in the physical sense, from that we have to understand something about ourselves, a deeper understanding about ourselves, about our inner being, about the spiritual worlds, and that in this day of Tisha B'Av, that the general focus of the day is mourning for the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. So what does it mean first of all, in the individual level of each one of us? And then afterwards, what does it mean in the more larger scale of Am Yisrael and the world and the creation, as much as we can relate and understand. So there's this kind of saying that they always say, everybody says about look on the full half of the cup. I'm not sure if it's the same sentence in English, but the concept is we have within our life always whatever is the positive parts that are like what we have, and there's the part that whatever it is that we are lacking. So always the instruction usually is to look on the full half of the cup, meaning what we have. Don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you do have. That's generally the instruction. Now, there is exceptions. And for example, the time of Tikkun Chatzot every night is time that we are looking on what we are lacking. Okay, so the Tisha B'Av is like Tikkun Chatzot, but by the way, I don't know if you see it, I have like this. I didn't remove it, but there's a Kabbalah, the custom, and in the Kabbalah there's a lot of explanation for why is it. Or there's a custom of putting like some ashes on the forehead in the place of the tefillin when you do Tikkun Chatzot. Anyhow, Tisha B'Av is like all of the 365 days of the year of that quality of Tikkun Chatzot that is concentrated in one day. And so all the rest of the days we have just a little bit out of the 24 hours. We have, let's say, like half an hour. There was tzaddikim that they were crying for hours and hours every night, but generally those people that are doing Tikkun Chatzot, so usually it takes them something between 15 to 30 minutes, something like that, to do Tikkun Chatzot. And then the rest of the 24 hours, we are following this general instruction to look on the full half of the cup to look on the positive, on the blessings that Hashem is giving us, and so on. And in Tisha B'Av, this is the focus for the whole day, all of the 24 hours, basically. Maybe there's a side to say that it's like flips, that just half an hour of the day, maybe the last half hour of the day before sunset. So there's like that we're looking on the bright side of the Tisha B'Av, that this is the I made a recording in Erev Tisha B'Av for all of you to listen to in the end of your fast, in the last half an hour, which is the comfort the comfort side of Tisha B'Av. So it's vice versa. Yeah, and all the days we're looking like all the 24 hours on the bright side, on the positive, and the blessings, and half an hour of Tikkun Chatzot, then we're looking on the what we are lacking. And in Tisha B'Av, all the time we are looking on what we are lacking, and only the last bit, half an hour, let's say, of the day, before the sunset. So then we're looking on the comfort and the positive side of this day. So the big question is, what is it that we are lacking? What is it that we are crying for? So Tisha B'Av, supposedly what we need to focus on is the Bet HaMikdash. But like I said many times, it's a big problem for us, the fact that we don't really know what is it, Tisha, what is the Bet HaMikdash. We never been in that situation that Bet HaMikdash is there for us, that we can feel that feelings, that we can relate to that. So how can we miss something that we never experienced? That's a big issue. And the solution that I always suggest to people is, instead of trying to connect to something that we have no idea how to relate to because we didn't have this experience, we can look on whatever it is that we are missing. Every person can think about whatever it is that he's praying for, whatever it is that he's wishing for, to look on that and to connect to the pain of Hashem, why I don't have that blessing that I need in my life, whatever it is. Some people it will be parnasah, some people it will be health, some people it will be spiritual things, some people it will be the pain that they experience with their children, with their parents, whatever it is. And to connect to that pain, and then after a person is connected to that feeling of lacking, of yearning, that can't take it anymore, and then to start to think about other people, that there's so many people around that are missing even more, that having more troubles in their life, and how much pain they have. And just to contemplate on this tremendous amount of pain and suffering that there is all over the world, and then can extend it even more to think about the previous generations, and to think about all the pain that there was in those terrible years of the Holocaust. There's many people that are telling stories about the Holocaust in Tisha B'Av, or the Inquisition, or there was the time of the Romans, the time of the Greeks, the time of the Babylonians, all of those different midrashim that we are dealing with in Tisha B'Av. What's the reason of dealing with that? It's not that we are like looking back on those years and just to find interest in those years. It's about connecting to the pain and suffering that there is within the process of the creation. And all of that should bring us to that point of realizing that when the Beit HaMikdash exists, that somehow, we don't really understand how, but somehow the existence of Beit HaMikdash in our life symbolizes the completion and the fulfillment of all of those needs and the comfort for all of the pain that there is. And even though we cannot understand how does it work, why is it like that, but this is the ultimate cure for all of the pain of the creation. And if we can really connect to that concept, to that idea in our heart and mind, so that should be the point of yearning for the rebuilding of the Beit HaMikdash and the crying and the mourning for the destruction of Beit HaMikdash. That all of that is connected to that essence. So for now, again, before we're diving into like details, just to connect to that concept, I want you to take a couple of minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, if you want 3 minutes, and try to meditate on that concept, what I just said, okay? Just close your eyes and think about your pain. What is painful for you in your life? What do you feel that you're missing in your life, that you can tell yourself, if I had those things, you know, whatever it is, like everybody are missing so much, but, you know, take the few top like things that you feel that you're missing in your life, the top of the list. And if I had those few things, my life would have been different. It would have been a different experience of life. And try to focus on that and increase the desire within you, increase the lack, the feeling that you're lacking, that relate to the pain that comes with that you're lacking. So I'll just give you a minute for that. Okay. Now I want you to think about few other people that are dear to you, that are close to you, and think about people that you know that they are suffering in their life, that they have to really struggle, and think about them, about their pain, what they are missing in their life. And as much as you can, try to extend that circle and relate and feel the pain of as many people as you can around the world. Think about all the, whatever it is that you know, whatever it is that you're aware of, all of those things that usually it's comfortable for us to ignore them and not to think about them. All these terrible things that are taking place in all kinds of places in the world, all kinds of people that are going through tremendous pain and suffering and who knows what. And it's very hard because we are so used to ignore this pain that there is. We are so used to disconnect ourselves from this pain. But now is the time to associate with the pain and try to feel that pain, that there's so much pain and suffering all around the world, so many people that are so far away, and try to connect to their pain as well. Now, if you can extend it even more and look into the past, if you need, so you can think about, like, from that point of the present, try to think back about the previous generation, their struggles, how much they had to go through to get to wherever you are, bring you into the present life that you have. Think about the generation before them, how much pain and suffering they went through. It's the generation of the Holocaust. So many people that suffered so much, so many people that lost their life, or they themselves survived, but they lost their families, their relatives. And as much as you know history of the history of the world, history of the Jewish people, think about it, about all those generations that they went through such big events. And obviously, besides of the big events, is like every person is every individual is a whole world. So all of those people that they had to go through such hard life with so many things that they lost, and they felt the pain of that loss. And all of that pain, all through the years. What is the biggest pain within all of that suffering that people are going through? What is that? If somebody is going through something terrible, but he knows that there is a purpose for that, if he really understand and connect that this is the right thing, this is what is needed, so that gives him comfort. But the biggest pain is that we have to go through the pain and we don't understand why we have to go through that. There's many people that are calling me, communicating with me, and they tell me why Hashem is doing it for me. What is my tikkun? What is the purpose? So there is the pain, but if I know that there is a reason for the pain, so I can deal with it. But the biggest pain is when people lose their faith in Hashem because of the pain, and then the pain becomes to me much greater because they feel that there's no purpose, there's no reason for the pain. So what I'm trying to say is, besides of the physical pain and the emotional pain, there is also spiritual pain, which is the biggest one, that is the lack of faith, the lack of hope. When people are losing their hope because of whatever it is that they're going through, and people that are feeling that Hashem don't love them anymore, and more than some people, they feel that Hashem is hating them. I heard people saying, "Why Hashem hates me?" So that feeling is the biggest pain. That kind of anger that people have towards Hashem, this is the biggest pain. So, and that is the really what we need to understand, that even though for us it seems like it is the external reasons or the lack of whatever it is, money, health, marriage, children's parents, whatever it is, all kinds of different things that people are missing, but the deeper pain that is within that loss, within that lack, is the pain that, does Hashem really care about me? If Hashem doesn't really cares about me, so why do I have to go through that? And that exactly is the point that we can understand. This is the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. This is the destruction of Bet HaMikdash is the destruction of the foundation of the relationship between us and Hashem. Bet HaMikdash, it's not so much about the sacrifices, the offerings that were done there, and like all kinds of different things that are very interesting, miracles that took place, all kinds of, but behind all of that is the foundation of the relationship of each one and all of Am Yisrael and the whole world as a unit, the relationship and the connection to Hashem. So this is the main thing that we lost when we lost the Bet HaMikdash. The main thing is that we lost the relationship, we lost the place that we can come into and connect to Hashem. I'm teaching people Kabbalistic meditation. And for me, the way I see that, the way I feel that, the way I teach it is that the essence of the meditation is that very point, to connect to Hashem. Meaning, we don't have Beit HaMikdash, which is the physical place that we can come with our body to rejuvenate and bring ourselves to that, to reestablishing that connection. We don't have that, but we have something that is internal within us that we can connect to. So what does it mean, according to that, the destruction of Beit HaMikdash in the inner sense? So many people, they are telling me that they can't meditate. They can't, it doesn't work for them. I try to explain to them that whatever it is, whatever experience that they have, so that's their experience and they have to appreciate it. But again, this is looking on the bright side, on the full half of the cup. But that fact that most of the people, many people, when they turn within and they try to establish this inner connection, they don't feel anything, or they think they don't feel, they don't find that connection within them. This is exactly that meaning of the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash is internal within us. That if we had the Beit HaMikdash, the inner Beit HaMikdash, it would have been very natural connection. Whenever you want, you can just turn within and connect, and it would have been the easiest thing to do, would have been the most natural thing to do. And the fact that most of the people, it's so hard for them, and it takes so much effort for them to just find the time and place and the mind span and the heart to do that for just a few minutes before they lose the concentration. And this is definitely, for me, this is a big part of the reason that for the mourning, for the yearning for the Beit HaMikdash. Because if we don't have that connection to Hashem, so what is the worth of life? The whole purpose of life, the way I understand it, is to connect to Hashem. So the fact that it is so difficult for the vast majority of the people, it's the biggest pain that is much more than all of the physical reasons of pain. So that was the main message that I wanted to say. The way I relate and understand the mourning and the pain of the Tisha B'Av, what we have to focus on. And I can just suggest, as much as you can do that through the day of Tisha B'Av, to go through this meditation, through this process that we just went through within the last half an hour, to contemplate about that. I think that this is the biggest gain that you can have of this day. And and with that pain, we have this concept that כל המתאבל על ירושלים זוכה ורואה בשמחתה. Those that feel the pain of the destruction, and they are mourning on that destruction that took place, is רואה בשמחתה, can see the joy, the rejoiceful of Yerushalayim. So to bring that concept to this, I just said before, the moment that we are aware of all of those things that I just said about the pain and the lack of connection to Hashem that so many people experience, from that inner point of yearning to connect to Hashem, this is that should be the establishing of the connection, because that is the only way that we really can appreciate the connection when it is reestablished. So in the end of Tikkun Chatzot, so this is the end of Tikkun Chatzot, right? In Tikkun Chatzot we have Tikkun Rachel, which is the mourning about the destruction. And then we have Tikkun Le'ah, which is expressing the yearning to connect with Hashem, right? Sama nafshi el Hashem, my soul is thirst to Hashem, and so on. All of those psukim that we have there, Yancha Hashem b'yom tzara, Hashem will answer you when you really call Him, and also all of those mizmorim. If you understand the meaning of the words and you look at it in that light, in that angle, so you will see that all of Tikkun Le'ah is a expression of the yearning to reconnect with Hashem. And then in the end of Tikkun Chatzot, we are standing up, right? Also in Tisha B'Av, we're sitting on the floor like we're doing in Tikkun Chatzot, like I'm doing now. And then in the end of the Tikkun Chatzot, or after midday of Tisha B'Av, we're standing up. So the standing up is that transformation to start receiving that comfort with the faith, with the connection to Hashem. So to feel the release, to feel the relief, to feel the relief of that comfort, it can only come with the connection to the pain. Someone that doesn't connect to any of that all what I was saying all the way through now, unfortunately there's so many people that I really feel sorry for them, that for them it's all just a custom. Whatever, we need to fast, we need to sit on the floor. Okay, time's up. Okay, now I can stand up. Oh, time's up of the fast, now I can go to eat. Missing the whole point, missing the whole purpose. So obviously they don't feel that relief, they don't feel that comfort, because they didn't feel the pain. So okay, whatever. So it was some time that I needed to do this because this is the custom, and that's it. And that itself, to think about those people that are so far away, so distant, and they don't have any feeling to anything, any of that, to feel sorry for them, to feel the pain of Hashem that his children don't relate to him. Imagine yourself a situation, those of you that have children, it's easier, but imagine yourself a situation that your children are fighting and arguing, and you don't want to deal with it anymore, and you just leave, you go out of the house. And then you look through the window without them seeing you. And you're hoping that the fact that you left the house will shock them. How could my parent leave the house? How can it be? And you expect them that they will stop fighting and start to communicate with another. Like, why? What happened? Why my parent did it? Why did he leave the house? Why? What happened? And that they will get to some realization of, we did something very wrong. We did what we did was the wrong thing. And if they don't go through any process of realization. They don't go through any process of, they just don't care. Okay, so now we can do whatever it is that we want because the parent is not at home. Think about the pain of that the children are ignoring the lack of the presence of the parent, right? It's a terrible feeling for the parent. My children don't care about me. They don't care about my feelings. I leave and they didn't notice that they left. What happened here? So think about those feelings of Hashem. Obviously, Hashem doesn't have feelings that like we do have feelings. It's different, right? We say that in the Haftarah every Thursday. My thought is not like your thoughts, and so on. Not like the guy, your ways is not like my ways. Fine, obviously, but I'm not. But for us to relate to, we have to relate according to the tools that Hashem gave us, according to the understanding that Hashem gave us. So all of those kinds of different relationship of husband and wife, children and parents, friends, this, that, all of those different relationships that we have in our life is different manifestations and parables for us to understand the relationship with Hashem. So the pain of the amount of ignorancy that there is in the world, that people are ignoring Hashem, that itself for me is the biggest pain, to see that, including myself, many times, unfortunately, each one of us. It's not that like I'm not trying to blame anyone else. I'm trying just to what I'm offering to do to you to use the quality of this day of Tisha B'Av to refocus and tune our life in the right direction. What it's all about. What is the right priority? What is the things that are really important, and what is the things that, if it's there, fine, and if it's not there, okay, that's something that we can live with. So now, we basically, I want to go to some details. There is different things that you can read about in Tisha B'Av, but the main text that what we are reading in the Bet Knesset is Megillat Eicha. They call it Leviticus, something like that. Megillat Eicha. So obviously, like any text of the Tanakh, so there's many different commentaries, and you can find like meaning just by learning those commentaries, and that's a good thing to do. If you don't know what to do in those hours of fast, if you can do that, so that's a good possibility. But I just want to give you a few points that the way that I'm relating to those psukim and the concepts that are found in the Megillat Eicha. So basically the Megillat Eicha is giving us like a parable of a woman that is like a widow that lost her husband, and right, and every time that we have like this feminine figure, according to the Kabbalah, very clearly, that feminine figure is the Shekhinah. Okay, the Shekhinah, like we speak about Rachel Imenu, or there are many examples. Every time we have like a feminine figure, so that's a certain revelation, certain aspect of the Shekhinah. So Eicha is one of a certain angle, the pain, the most painful angle of the Shekhinah is revealed to us. So Aita Kalmana, she's like a widow. What does it mean to be like a widow? The simple understanding of that a woman that she's like a widow, she's not a real widow, is that the husband is not present in her life. Yeah, he disappeared. You know, there was many ladies, for example, that their husband didn't come home after a war or something like that. There was a war and the husband didn't come back, and they were like widows, but they didn't know if they are real widows. They didn't know what really happened there. And a woman like that cannot be married. She's like stuck. She doesn't know what to do. So she cannot get the comfort of a woman that lost her husband, because maybe the husband is alive. But she doesn't have a husband practically. So this is a woman that she's like a widow. And once again, for me, it's very clearly connected to that concept that I was saying before, of people that they feel so much pain in their life and they're asking, does Hashem really care about me? Hashem like what's happening? Why Hashem is not present in my life? I hope that you get the message, you understand the connection. For me, it's very clear. I hope that I make it clearer for you. So this lady, Eicha, so she says, Ravti bagoyim, sharti b'medinot, הייתה למס. So what does it mean? Literally, it means like I was going all around the world. I was going between the nations. I was like singing or ruling in different places that is not my house. I was wandering all around. הייתה למס is like there was like a tax that was taken from her, right? And again, this is the feeling of so many people all around the world, specifically in our generation, I believe, maybe in all of the generations, but first, like we're gonna look on our generation. So many people, they feel out of their place. They are wandering around looking for what is the right thing for them to do, what is their life mission, what is their purpose of life, and the only thing that they are experiencing is the tax that is taking from them, whatever they have to pay. All the time they have to pay. I'm also physical, but I'm not talking about the physical. The faith that is taking out, right? So I'll read another couple of lines here. She's crying in the nighttime, right? Again, basically the concept of tikkun chatzot. The tear is on her cheek. En la menachem, and she doesn't have someone to comfort her. Right? Who is the menachem? We know that one of the names of Mashiach is Menachem. It says in the Gemara that Mashiach has 7 names. One of them is Menachem. So this is what we are looking for. This is the comfort that we are looking for. And we don't have that. The Shekhinah don't have that comfort. All of those that were supposed to love her betrayed her and became to be like enemies to her. And so think about that pain of, like I was saying before, the parent that, imagine that not only that the children are like they ignore the fact that the parent left, The children are actually even worse. They are like, they are glad. Now we got rid of this old man, old lady, and now we can the house is ours. We can do whatever it is that we want, right? And unfortunately, there is people that they feel this way, that Hashem left the world, chas v'shalom, and now we can do whatever it is that we want. They are celebrating the fact that Hashem does reveal His presence in the world. And by the way, this is the source of all evil, right? How the evil is there to do anything, because they have the possibility to ignore Hashem's presence, because Hashem is hiding His presence. So they have this possibility to do whatever it is that they want. Okay. I won't continue one sentence, one pasuk after another, because we will not finish. So I'm skipping to the next chapter. Okay, chapter bed is basically talking about the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. Right? It says, Et bat Zion eshlich mishamayim. Right? The daughter of Zion. Again, every time talking about like a daughter, a wife, if any feminine aspect is connected to Hashem, to the Shekhinah, that Hashem is expressing his frustration for all of that we don't do, we don't understand, and he's pretending as if he's brushing us off, like, I don't care from you, and like throwing us down to the ground. השליך משמיים ארץ תפארת, ישראל לא זכר את דם רגליו ביום אפו. He didn't remember the Dom Raglav is when you sit on a couch and you have like this kind of stool that you're putting your legs on top of that, this is called Hedom. So there's a pasuk that says that Aretz Hedom Raglav, that the land is that stool of Hashem's legs, that he's resting his legs upon. And so he doesn't. So and this is basically this world. So Hashem lo zachar et dam raglav. He doesn't remember this world anymore, as if Hashem ignores this world in the time of His anger. And once again, Hashem left the house, as if, so we don't have that present with us, but we know that Hashem is looking, right? Mashkif min hachalonot, matzitz min harachim. Hashem is looking, but this is the Shir HaShirim, this is the comfort zone, right? Now we're talking about that feeling of Hashem is ignoring us, we're ignoring Hashem, there's no relationship. So all of that second chapter of the Eicha is basically about that destruction of the Bet HaMikdash. And you can read all of those psukim like a history about like what happened in the time of the destruction, about that Jeremiah was saying those words. Fine. I'm not saying it's not true, but for me, this is not the main message here. It's not the history class. Now, the third chapter of Eicha is kind of a personal note. אני הגבר ואני בשבט אבותו. I'm the man that is looking on that, lacking on the fact that I'm so poor. When I'm receiving Shevet Evoto, it's like the heat, when I'm getting heated by the stick, that with Hashem's anger. In other words, to know that I am the place where Hashem is hitting when he's angry. And it continues, that Hashem is leading me in a path of darkness that I cannot see what is the purpose. I don't see the light. I don't have an understanding of what's going on. And so on. All of those psukim in the third chapter is going in that direction about expressing those feelings of like Hashem left me and here I am. I don't know what's going on. Hashem is giving me this punishment of experiencing this darkness, this ongoing pain. So this is all of the third chapter. The fourth chapter is more about the state of Am Yisrael. Ichayu Am Zahav Isna Ketem Atov Tishtapechna Bnei Kodesh Berosh Kol Chutzot. The words, by the way, of Eicha are very difficult. Even someone like myself that, like Baruch Hashem, my Hebrew is pretty good understanding, but there's many words that you don't find in any other place, and you really, it's difficult to understand the simple meaning of the words. But when it says Tishtapechna Avnei Kodesh Verosh Kol Chutzot, so the literal meaning of those words is that there's stones that are holy that are poured out in the main street. So what does it mean? Before I'm explaining the deeper understanding, but just the parable itself to understand. Let's say that somebody had there was a kingdom, that there was a beautiful palace, that the whole palace was made out of precious stones. And then when the enemies came and conquered that wonderful kingdom, they destroyed the palace and they ignored the value of those stones of the palace, and they just threw them out in the middle of the street as if it's nothing, doesn't have value. So besides of the pain of the destruction, there's the pain of the disgrace, right? So the simple understanding is that they're talking about the stones of the Bet HaMikdash, that the Babylonians or the Romans, when they destroyed the Bet HaMikdash, so they threw the stones, they used it as if it's like nothing. They didn't relate to the holiness of it. So that's in the history aspect of that. But in the deeper sense of the what I'm relating to, the way I relate to this concept is that the stones is the souls of Am Yisrael. The stones that are the stones of Bet HaMikdash are parallel to the stones which is the souls of Am Yisrael. Every soul is a stone, and together, when all of those stones, all of those souls are together, unite, that forms the Bet HaMikdash. And to throw those stones, to throw those souls as if it's nothing, it is as if it has no value in the middle of the street, meaning in this world that, you know, there's so many souls of Jews all around that they don't know anything about Hashem, they don't know anything about the Torah, they don't know anything about all of those things that we are trying to relate and connect to. And for them it's nothing. It's like, you know, just the main street of New York, whatever, Fifth Avenue, whatever it is. Just, you know, everything is like all the other people around. They walk in the street and it's just nothing special about them, about their soul. So the stones, the holy stones, the holy souls that are just poured out with no purpose, as if. So this is the fourth chapter of Eicha, that is talking about the souls of Am Yisrael, the state, spiritual state of every individual that is just feeling that, okay, Hashem left me, Hashem dumped me, I'm by myself in the world, I might as well just connect to all this physical event that is taking place in this world and just forget about myself being Jewish. And even someone that is not Jewish, it's not something that is only for Jews. Even someone that just have a certain relationship with Hashem, and then sometimes feels that Hashem is not there for him, and he feels by himself, and he just letting himself be merged within all of the external scene that is around him, whatever it is, going to the bar and getting drunk and who knows what, and just losing himself. I know someone that is not Jewish, but is basically in that kind of a situation in his life. So, like I said, and I know people that they experience this kind of pain, exactly. So basically, all of this fourth chapter is about that that concept of something very, very holy, very, very precious, that becomes to be like lose its value, that is treated and is relating to himself like nothing, something that doesn't have any value. If you want, you can think about you know, a young woman that she's, instead of holding herself and waiting for being married, to have a relationship with someone, she doesn't have any like self-value, and she's just going around and, you know, meeting people and being with them without any personal value, just not even hoping to find her real husband, because like doesn't have hope. And this is also something that is referred and brought down in Eicha, in the fifth chapter. In the fifth chapter, it says, "Nashim b'Tzion imnu betulot ba'eri Yehuda." The tortured the ladies in Zion and the virgins in the cities of Yehuda. So there's I'm sure that there's many people that they have all kinds of feeling and thoughts and ideas about this subject. I'm not coming to argue or convince anyone with anything, but just like the simple understanding that what we see all through the Torah, that also young men, also like young boys, not only girls. It's not about like only ladies, but specifically usually like we speak more about the ladies side. But obviously the right thing to do is to wait patiently until someone finds his until the girl finds her husband, the boy finds his wife, and then they are together in a way that is within the frame of marriage, that is holy. And when it's not happening like that, when it becomes to be something that is like casual, like meeting with someone and just being with them without purpose, without any idea about the possibility of establishing proper life, this is definitely an expression of all of those things that we're speaking about. That people that they feel that Hashem is not with them, so what's the purpose of waiting? There's nothing to wait for, right? Anyhow, the 5th chapter of Icha is not talking only about that. So I'll just read the first pasuk there. Zohar Hashem Maya Alanu. By the way, there's whoever is saying Tikkun Chatzot, so this 5th chapter is actually something that, like, you say every day in Tikkun Chatzot. So remember Hashem, what happened to us. Look on our disgrace. So again, what is the biggest pain that we have? That we feel as if Hashem is ignoring us. So what is the request? What we're asking for? We're asking Hashem, please look at us. Don't ignore us. Don't ignore our pain, right? And I know someone that for years and years is struggling, and he lost his family. He lost he doesn't have parnasa, doesn't have money, or most of the time is like going in and out like court cases, that whatever, you know. And he was, for a long time, he was trying to communicate with me that I will tell him something about like why he's suffering, why Hashem is ignoring him. And he's asking me also, like for him, I'm like representing Hashem. He's asking me like, don't ignore me, like relate to me, talk to me, explain to me, tell me why. So, you know, and that's a big issue again. So whatever it is that we are experiencing, we should understand that the biggest pain is that we feel ignored by Hashem. And the biggest request is to reestablish our connection to Hashem. And it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. So the 5th chapter is talking about that experience of being ignored by Hashem. Asking Hashem to not ignoring us, and the experience that we have that Hashem is ignoring us, which is the most terrible feeling that there is. So this is the 5 chapters of Eicha. So if you have extra time today, that will be a good thing for you to do, to go through some psukim as much as you're capable of, to read the commentary about it, and from the pasuk and the commentary, so try to relate to that in more of a personal note, to understand what is it about for you, for the world, for our generation. Anyhow, okay. I see that I took the wrong volume of Zohar. So I read it from the computer. So there is an article of Zohar about Eicha that I wanted to give you a little taste of that. And once again, we have to understand what is it about. You know, some people they read the Zohar like a midrash, you know, interesting midrash. But this is not the right attitude. This is not what it's about. But this is the starting point, to understand the simple meaning, and then we are able to relate to that in a deeper sense. So the Zohar of Eicha starts with שלחו להו בני בבל לבני ער הקדישה, לאן יעוד למבקי. So there is like the people, the Jewish people that left Eretz Israel, they're living in exile, they're living in Babylon, Bavel. And they are sending a message to those Jews that stayed in Eretz Israel, and they tell them, we are the ones that have to cry. We are the ones that have to say eulogy for the destruction of the house of Hashem. That we are lost in between the nations. Idlan lemiftach espeda, we have to open with the eulogy, lefarsha aleph beta, and to explain the meaning of the aleph bet, meaning of Eicha. That if you look in the psukim of Eicha, the beginning of that. So the first pasuk starts with aleph, the second pasuk starts with bet, third pasuk starts with gimel, right? So you have the aleph bet of Eicha. So they say we are the ones that can really explain what it's talking about, because we are the ones that are feeling this pain. And then the Zohar continues and say that the Jewish people that stayed in Eretz Israel, they sending a message back to those that stayed that left and got to Bavel, and they tell them no. Yehuda tunit badrun b'nei Maya, even though you scattered between the nations, atun lebama kadisha, and you are out of the Holy Land, and it is proper for you to go out to cry about yourself, about your children's that you went from the light to the darkness, like a slave that had to leave the house of his master. But we are the ones that have to say the eulogy. Why? We are the ones that Hashem sent the book of eulogy to. Anan Bananda Matronita, we are the children of the Shechina. Vanan Ibnei Beita, we are like the house members. We are living in the house of the Shechina. Yad'in Yakara de Mare Alma, we know the preciousness, the glory of Hashem. So for us, we are really experiencing the pain of destruction, and we can explain what is the alphabet of Icha is talking about. Why? Anan Yatmi below Abba V'Ima, we are like all orphans with no parents. Okay, so okay. So I gave you the simple understanding of there's like a discussion back and forth between the aspect of Am Yisrael that went out of the exile and experiencing the exile, and the part that is staying in Eretz Israel, living in Eretz Israel, and experiencing the pain of being in Eretz Israel without the Beit HaMikdash. What is worse? What is worse? So this is, by the way, connected to the Tikkun Chatzot. In Tikkun Chatzot, we are starting with the Tehillim of Kuf Lamed Zayin al Nerot Bavel Shem Yeshavnu V'Bachinu. We're like sitting on the rivers of Babylon, and we are crying. So this is the first paragraph here of the Zohar. That is the Jews that are living in exile, and they are crying about being in exile, right? And then the second Tehillim that we say is Mizmor La'asaf Ba'u Goyim B'Nachalatecha, that the Gentiles that came to destroy the Beit HaMikdash, they came into Eretz Yisrael. So those that were left in Eretz Yisrael, they see the destruction, they see the pain that is taking place in Eretz Yisrael. And so this is two angles of experiencing the pain, two angles of experiencing the lack of presence, as we said before. So to say that two angles for our modern life, obviously, like anything else, can be explained in all different ways, but someone that, let's say that, for example, that to be in a club with music and alcohol, that will be for us like being in Bavel, being in outside of the holiness of Eretz Israel. And someone that is there and he sees that, where is Hashem here? It's like he's looking, people are dancing, people are enjoying themselves, and he doesn't understand, he doesn't belong there. Like he knows that like that's not his place, but what should he do? That's where he is. And Hashem doesn't send him any message of what he should do there. And he's like just sitting and trying to understand like what's going on with me, what's going on with my life, why am I here? So that will be like Al Nerot Bavel Shem Yeshavnu V'Bachinu. This is the Jewish people that are in exile. And the other side of being in Eretz Israel and experiencing the destruction. So let's say, for example, someone that is inside of a Bet Knesset or Bet Midrash, and is trying to concentrate in his learning, in his prayer, but all the time you have like thoughts that are not proper. All the time he's suffering from like his mind is taking him all the time to think about this kind of a club with music and alcohol and whatever, and like he wants to concentrate in his tefillah, but he can't. He wants to concentrate in his learning, but he can't. He's like he's thinking all the time. So he's in the Kodesh, but he's experiencing as if the non-Jewish culture came in to his domain, to the Kodesh. So he's living in Eretz Israel and he's experiencing the destruction of Eretz Israel, so that's a different angle of the the feeling of pain, of the lack of relationship with Hashem. So this is something that we see also in the Zohar here. This is something that we see also in the Tikkun Chatzot. The battery of my computer is running out. I didn't take the charger with me, so if okay, so it's supposed to last for the end of the class, but anyhow, I'm skipping quite a bit of Zohar. I want to give you another beginning point. The Zohar says, "Tachazi kodem shichatu." Maybe I'll share this screen with you so you can have the text that I'm working on. Okay. By the way, this program is called the Torah Amen, and it's free. You can download it, and you have there all of the Zohar, all of the Gemara, Shulchan Aruch. It's very, very useful. I'm using that all the time. So, before the sin of Am Yisrael, the Shekhinah was resting on their heads. Liyot bishvil shora al haolam. Important line. It's not only for them. The fact that the Shekhinah is on top of Am Yisrael is not only for Am Yisrael, it's for the whole world. The fact that there is a nation that the presence of Hashem is resting upon them, it is something that is meaningful for the whole creation. Kivan shechatu, after the sins of Am Yisrael, kivyachol tashkocha, as if the Shekhinah lost its power. Istalkat, it was removed. Velo shelitat, it didn't have control. Meaning, the presence of the Shekhinah that is represented by Am Yisrael when we are doing what we need to do is the representing Hashem's presence for the whole world. Right? We see that also in our generation in a quite an interesting turn. Right now, it's not maybe the time to speak about it so much, but the fact is that many nations, many people all around the world are looking on the physical success of Am Yisrael, and they say, that's a nation of smart people, of the people that are like geniuses and so on. So it's a little bit missing the point, because it looks on the physical success, and what really we should have is the spiritual success. But the success of Am Yisrael is something that is meaningful for the whole world to look on that and to acknowledge and accept the fact that Hashem have a chosen nation. So Hashem have desire, Hashem have will, there is a purpose for the creation. So when Am Yisrael is not ruling and it is ruled by others with all kinds of wrong intentions and agendas and this and that, so that is the opposite, right? And that's what the Zohar here is talking about. Hashem is giving us the permission, instructions to say eulogy, Amar Icha, and he says, like, Icha is also that lady that we spoke about before, but also the question, like Hashem is asking Adam after Adam sinned. So Hashem says, Ayeka, like, where are you? Yeah, Adam was hiding from Hashem, and Hashem, like, taking its part in the game and Okay, you want me to pretend as if I don't see you? So okay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you hiding? Right? So Ayeka is Eicha. Where are you? Hashem is asking us, where are we? Matehemina, what's going to be with you? Shultanuta Adumina, the kingship, the rulership was lost from the Shechina. Ufacha bechurban Beit Mikdash, the same way in the destruction of Beit Mikdash, Shultanuta Adu Bekul Shebrichu Shar Elei Lemispad. There is a lack of control. There is a lack of the ruling of the kingship, and Hashem is giving us this permission, this instruction to say eulogy and to say, where are you? What's going to be about her, about the Shekhinah? So, and that's basically what we need to do all through this day of Tisha B'Av. We have to ask ourselves, we have to ask Hashem, where am I? Hashem, where are you? What's going on? I want to experience unity. I want to experience your presence in my life, in the world. And that is the focus. That's the main message of the whole class today. And I'll just take like last point. We have like a few more minutes. The connection to the Tikkun Chatzot. Palgu Laila in the middle of the night. So there's a certain glimpse of presence of Hashem that comes to the deepest point, which is called the Nekuda of Tzion, the point of Tzion, of being like the okay, it's a wide concept that is like the point of being Jewish. There's many people that are Jewish, but it doesn't mean to them anything besides of the fact that they are Jewish. So that point of just knowing that they are Jewish, that's the only thing that they have left. All the rest they lost. And even though it's just something so tiny and small, but because this is the last thing that they have, it becomes to be very, very precious. So, and within that precious point of themselves, of the world, the Zohar is calling that Atar Beit Kodesh Kodashim. This is the place, is like the most holy place, like the Kodesh Kodashim in the Beit HaMikdash. That is the place that only the Kohen Gadol could come, right? Hamat le'itchariv, and it was destroyed because of what took place, the lack of relationship between Am Yisrael and Hashem. V'ista'av atar beit mutva ve'arsa, and the place that is like the parable of a married couple. So the bed, arsa is a bed, yeah. This is like the place where they unite, where they come together. So when the enemies are coming and they are destroying that place of unity, so then so the wife that she didn't have her husband, she lost her husband, like we said, like I explained about Eicha. She was like a widow, but she was waiting. Like the bed was ready for the husband to come back to sleep in the bed. and now they are coming and they are destroying they're throwing out the bed. Okay, the battery is running out, and this is the so then she's crying. The Atmi Elalat, she's crying for the, even though she had that expectation, she had that hope that the relationship will be restored, and then now they are destroying that. So she's losing the hope. Salka mi ela letata, mitata ela mi ela letata. Okay, so there's like the whole process of the Shekhinah that is like crying for the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. So just before we're finishing, the last point I want to make is that the main thing is not to ignore our situation. The fact that we are missing the presence of Hashem in our life, whatever it is that we're missing in our life, everything is a result and a wake-up call for us to understand that there's something wrong. Whatever it is that we feel that is wrong in our life is a wake-up call for us to understand that there's something wrong, that we are missing something. It's not right. We should not get used to live in that state without Beit HaMikdash, without that relationship with Hashem. We have to feel that pain and feel that yearning, feel that thirst, and ask Hashem, please have mercy on us. Come back to our life. Come back. Bring your presence into the world, that the whole world will recognize your kingdom, and people will not be able to ignore your presence, the rules of the Torah to make the world to be a real good place that people want to live in. So many people today, they don't want to live in this world because so much suffering. So to have the place like it can be, place that will be flourish and nourishing and sustaining and so on, all of that is coming with the presence of Hashem. So today there's all kinds of people that are trying to say that, this technology will save the world, that thing will, everything will change but it's all nonsense. It's like the only real thing that really matters is if we have the presence of Hashem, if we have the relationship with Hashem. If we don't have that, it doesn't matter how much technology we have, how much money we have, how much fit and in shape we are, and so on. All of those things doesn't matter if we're missing that foundation. And when we have that, so someone can be like by himself, poor, and still be happy. So I will hold it here, and I will just finish with the blessing that Hashem will give us the privilege to feel the pain, that we will be able to call out for Him to help us in all of our heart, with all of our being, in a way that it will be impossible for Hashem to ignore that call. And this is the point that we need to reach in this day. That should be the purpose of the day, to get to the deepest point within ourselves, and from there to call out to Hashem. So B'ezrat Hashem, I hope and pray that Hashem will give us that possibility to connect to Him in this way, in this level, in this day. And B'ezrat Hashem, that Hashem will turn this day to be the happiest day of our life, and when we feel that Hashem is answering our call in the individual level and in the plural level, and for all of Am Yisrael and for the whole world and for the whole creation, that the glory of Hashem will come back and fill all of the existence, B'ezrat Hashem. So B'ezrat Hashem, to be continued